What's up, everybody? Robin Phillips here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about time management. I'm going to be sharing the two things that I have implemented in my life that have allowed me to run two businesses, spend time with my family, and spend time on myself and my own personal growth. Stick around. So let's face it, we all want to do more in less time. So what is time management? Well, no one can really manage time, right? We can only manage ourselves. So what we're really saying is, I want to be more productive. I want to be more efficient, more effective. And whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you have a 40-hour-a-week job, or whether you're an entrepreneur, doing more in less time, being more productive, means that we first have to know what is the product in which we desire. What is that outcome we are looking for? So I'm going to be covering setting intentional outcomes, or goal setting, as some people call it, in my next video. But for the sake of time right now, let's focus on that self-management so that we can get to that desired outcome. So let's get into it. We've all met those people that just are busy all day long. They're like, go, 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 right? They are just working nonstop. But at the end of the week, they've achieved almost nothing, right? And maybe you're one of those people. There's nothing wrong with this, right? The intention is there. The intention is to work hard and get through those emails and do all of this stuff. But what happens is, at the end of the week, the needle-moving activities have not happened, and all of the garbage has happened. So knowing that desired outcome makes all the difference, right? And then trick number one is identifying those needle-moving activities that are going to make a difference in the desired outcome. Let me give you an example. You all know I am a real estate agent. And one of the intentional outcomes each year is to help more families buy and sell homes. Needle-moving activities around that intentional outcome may be making client calls, posting things on social media, making video content, writing blogs. All of those needle-moving activities have a time block on my calendar, the days that I do them, and there is a list of items to complete in that time block. Another example, I would like to deepen the relationships I have with my children. So I have the needle-moving activity of eating dinner with them a certain number of nights a week, depending on their schedule as well. During that time, I'm 100% present. You can imagine that makes a huge difference in my relationship with my children. Again, strange as it sounds, it is literally a time block on my calendar, the nights that it's going to happen. So it happens and the garbage doesn't. Does that make sense? So speaking of garbage, there are a lot of things in our day that are not needle-moving activities that actually have to happen, and we are the only ones that can do them. So what do you do with all the rest of the stuff? So my second life-changing discovery is what I call my categories. So I take all of that garbage, which, by the way, the only thing that qualifies for me as garbage are things that have to be done that only I can do. Those items go on a list at the beginning of each week in categories. So the best way I can describe my categories is to give you another example. When I leave my house on a Saturday and I have a whole bunch of errands to run, I organize my day based on the driving pattern that gives me the least amount of driving time, as well as the areas for those activities. For example, if I have things to do at the mall, I'm not going to do half of the things at the mall and then go someplace else and then go back to the mall, right? I'm going to do everything at one time there and then go on to the next place that is in the next driving pattern that saves me the most time. These categories are very similar. I want to spend my day transitioning the least amount of time from activity to activity, number one. Number two, I want all of the types of things that I'm doing, right? All of my mall shopping in that one category. So here's a business-related example. I have an email and text time block. In that time block, I am reading and responding to emails. If I come across an email that's like, hey, Robin, I had this thing. I'd really love for you to read it and give me your opinion on it. I am not gonna do that in this time block. I'm gonna set that aside and it goes into a different category, right? Because what happens is all the time that you're squirreling off to these other tasks, in the middle of a category task, it slows you down. Why? Because you're taking time to make that mental transition from one activity to another, right? It's also taking you potentially out of this software program. Now you're going into this software program, right? And worst case is you jump into that, I want you to read it for my opinion document, which takes you into a completely different thought process, which may take you down a completely different rabbit hole. And the intention and the outcome that you had planned, which was to get through your emails and texts and respond to the people that have communicated with you, is now either done way later or not done at all. So I want to have a little get real moment as well. We all have things in our life or our business that are going to be urgent. So the baby's crying, or your daughter had a bad day and she just walked in the door crying and she needs to talk to you. Or you have a huge issue with one of your real estate transactions and you're literally waiting for phone calls so that you can solve the problem and get back to your client. These issues will always impede on your time and on your day, and that's okay, right? Because that's part of living and being the caring and loving human being that we are. The goal is to have enough self-control to practice this time blocking and time management strategy enough that it becomes habit, so that we can get to the end of the week and those needle moving activities have happened. The garbage did not take over our life, and we had enough time in our day to spend on these urgent matters. And if I had one little bonus tip, I would say, don't overschedule yourself. It is super important to leave time for planning at the end of each day to make sure you are ready to achieve those needle moving activities the next day. Plan the garbage into categories so that you can then move the needle on those activities. And bottom line is, you need time to celebrate. You need time to pat yourself on the back and say, I really, really did a great job today. Which means you have to reward yourself. If you have no time in your day for your own personal rewards, you will never wake up the next day refreshed enough to go at it hard. Well, that's a wrap. Love talking about this stuff. And if you need any help in real estate, in the description below is a link to my private calendar. Feel free to book some time with me. We'll jump on Zoom. We'll talk about your real estate goals, and I'll see everybody on my next video.